And Mike Hoffman, downtown business owner.
I'm Autumn Scott from the Regional Planning Commission.
Oh, there he is.
Sylvia Von Allock, resident.
Hi, Sylvia.
Town engineer.
Yes. And on cue, Bart McDonough.
Plan director.
Oh, you know what? We probably have to do this again. I didn't tell him to start filming.
Sit up, Sylvia. You're on the committee.
What?
You sit up here.
Yeah. I tried to
Yeah.
Oh,
tell
You're on
him.
the committee.
what?
Bart, can you call downstairs?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even see a phone here.
I think we're on. It's on. We're good.
Okay, good. All right, so we just did introductions.
Great.
So we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who's joined on Zoom?
And on Zoom is Andrew Cleveland. Can you hear us, Angie?
Yes.
Excellent.
Hello, Angela Cleveland from SRPC.
Great. And so Angie, I guess you just want to kick it off with the presentation. I think you're able to share your screen.
Yeah. Great. All right. So, I heard we had till 10 till, so I'm going to be brief too, but wanted to make sure we cram it all in tonight, but recognizing that we're also going to see each other probably monthly for, the next couple of years. So tonight we did some introductions and thanks for doing that. We're going to do just a couple of slides on the scope of work and the funding and how they work together, because this was a very creatively funded project, and kudos to you for doing that. It's amazing to see a town pull together so many resources to support the master plan development. So congrats on that. And with that, I'll say that SRPC's task, and we're taking it willingly and excitedly to make this a seamless project for everybody. So even though there are a couple different sources of funding with different scopes associated with them, we want the public and you to a big degree as well understand that this really is what this is a big master plan. So with that, we'll also go through just a really quick timeline, and we intend to put together a more detailed one, but as you know, it's hard to do that on a screen. And when we were kicking this off publicly and with you all, we thought we'd keep it brief. How we're going to work together, then I'm going to turn it over to, actually, I don't know if we're going to go through the whole survey or not, but I know you just received the link today, so depending on how much time, we may just open it up for discussion really quick and explain what the intent of the survey is, and then we'll leave it at that, and you can review it on your own time. The open space matrix, which will also be a point of discussion, I believe, tonight at the Concom meeting. The branding for this project, again, we intend this to be a seamless approach to your master plan, so we want to have all components of that have a similar look and feel. And then how we coordinate, our regular subcommittee meetings, if we can. If any of these things fall to the bottom of the hour and we're not done with them, then that's fine. So SRPC was hired to basically help with 4 components here, but again, it's all the master plan, but I broke them into the components. And we wanted to make sure that's clear, just because there is so much to it. But really, again, we want to have a consistent master plan brand and logo, so look and feel to the public and everyone else, and be proud of this effort. We've seen the master plans that do approach this with a brand are a lot more successful in implementation, because people feel a connected sense of it, and so keeping that brand not just for the master plan but for implementation is really healthy. And then several master plan updates, so we're not actually creating some of these chapters from scratch. We're going to be taking existing chapters and putting them into a new format, and then finally into a new design. We actually are using what's called story map for your master plan, so both the lead up to it, so that people go to that site and find information on how to engage in it, find the surveys, but also for how the final product is presented digitally. So you'll see there the updates, more updates than there are actual new chapters, but with same respect and same outlook onto them, but just not as much data collection because a lot of it's just updates. The new master plans are housing and open space. I put those two first because we're actually engaging in them first, because the chapters are funded with two special funding sources that expire at the end of this year and in July. So we want to launch those first, which is why the survey is focused on housing and open space. And then energy, regional coordination, arts and culture, and recreation. We're also going to be doing a riverfront community design charrette, which was funded by a resiliency grant. So that'll be a really fun project, and will be grouped into this as well, but have its own charrette and plan or chapter. Some zoning updates, and then ultimately, which is a big lift, and we're ready for it, and is to engage the community. So while it's not necessarily a separate task per se, it really is. It's part of everything that we're going to be doing for this project for you. So the funding sources I'm alluding to, again, there are 4 different ones. There is a housing opportunities grant, which was one of the last ones that the state is giving out. So that's pretty great that Newmarket was able to obtain that before the funds were dried, although we're hearing that they're still looking for more. So that's to develop a housing plan, the housing chapter, and I'll be leading that as your project manager. And then the open space project is going to be led under the New Hampshire DES Source Water Protection Grant by Autumn, and also the Coastal Resilience Grant to do the riverfront project will also be led by Autumn. And then the rest of the master plan chapters that you saw, both these existing chapter updates and the new master plan chapters, will be led by me. So Autumn and I are going to be seeing a lot of each other over the next couple of years as we embark on this project, which is why she's with us tonight. Because again, this is seamless, and there's going to be a lot of overlap between all of these, both the grants as well as the tasks themselves, especially with engagement. So we're kicking this off tonight with y'all, and then we're forming, at least for housing and open space, we'll be forming teams, and I'll talk about those in a second. And then starting to schedule some regular meetings, anticipating monthly, but there might be months where we don't need to meet, or we can, maybe it's short, or we somehow abbreviate it. So, but we'll be mindful of your time. Always respecting your time is our goal. We recognize this is a huge lift, and we thank you all very much for making this commitment. In November and December, as I mentioned, we're launching a survey. This will be for open space and housing. We want to take the next couple of weeks to get some feedback from you all before launching, and then anticipate launching that right after Thanksgiving with all the flyers and everything ready to do for the month of December. In spring and fall, we'll be looking at community workshops for both the housing workshop and open space, and probably visioning for the workshop, or excuse me, for the master plan. And in the fall, for all of the chapters that we're writing, except for housing and open space. So those will have their own workshop, as I mentioned, in the spring. Again, we're trying to still make this seamless, so there'll be some creative ways, along with hopefully your guidance, that we're going to make this look like a seamless experience for all of the folks that are attending these, including yourself. So we'll, as I mentioned, hopefully monthly, if that's what the subcommittee agrees, meetings. And then we're breaking into master plan teams for not each of the chapters, probably doing about 4 teams. So I think the last I checked, there were 11 chapters. I'll have to do a quick math on that, but we're primarily looking for team members tonight. Sorry, I'm still struggling with a cold, like most people, it seems like in New England. We'll be splitting into 4 groups, so they'll have multiple chapters associated with those teams. We wanted to make it manageable. But again, we recognize that some of these chapters are going to have a lot of overlap, so we didn't see the need in having 11 teams. So, and these we anticipate being, and we'll introduce a lot more of this at our next meeting, but the teams with an apostrophe at the end, roles are really to, search for members of your community that might lend some great advice on what the chapter should entail. Data, experiences, things that really can help you create the vision, goals, and strategies associated with each of the chapters so that they're implementable and how the town wants to grow over the next 10 years. So those teams I've seen this approach in many communities where bring in a professor or a business owner or someone who, again, lends some expertise that might not be on the team, but can help you understand existing conditions are and kind of the baseline for that chapter, and then use those themes and the trends that you're hearing from that expert to incorporate that into the chapter. So again, the discussion points for tonight will be the survey, if we have some time to review, which it looks like we might. And then I'd love for you all to give us some thoughts on engagement. We've done some brainstorming with Bart and Lindsay and others, but we'd love to hear from you on that. And then at the matrix, the branding, which I'm hoping we're going to get to, and scheduling regular meetings. So with that, Bart, did you want us to, do people have the survey already? I think I saw it go out to folks, but
Yeah,
is it worth?
Yeah, if you can bring it up, maybe on your screen, that'd be nice, because I don't have a paper copy on that. But did everyone see that link today? Yeah, you have time to review it. Okay, or just like a brief, peruse through it.
I can at least do an overview of 1 minute so that people might have a little bit more context.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I went through it and I didn't see anything in there that was unusual.
Unusual. Okay. Yeah.
I had a bunch of things I wanted to
Okay.
suggest.
Yeah. So Angie, we'll just have you bring it up when you have that chance, and then anyone else? Ellen, did you get a chance to look at it? Nah.
Just really quick.
Just really quick. Okay. How about you?
But yeah, I looked at it, but I didn't have the results. It's only
Okay.
the questions.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So we're
Okay.
basically finalizing the questions right now.
Okay, so there was
Yeah.
another survey that just went out.
This afternoon.
No, it was a couple months ago.
Okay. Oh, that was different. That was from the town manager's
Right,
office. Yeah.
okay, so this is, okay.
This is totally different. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Separate survey.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So the first page is a overview, and I forgot to change this. It's actually 14 minutes to to take this survey, so we'll change that to be respectful to folks who are taking this. The first section, I guess, if you say out of the 4, are the demographics, so where they work, their age, what their annual income or household income is.
Angie, can I stop you already? So
I'm sorry?
Can I stop you already, or are we going to go through the whole thing and then go back?
Yeah. Angie, how do you want to approach this? Question by question, then questions, or just go through the whole thing?
Is it an overall question, or,
No.
'cause I think what I'd like to do is ask people to make comments in it if they're really small comments, just so that we're just respecting time for tonight, but if folks think we have enough time to go through each individual ones, then we can. But if there's small things, I'd rather just people make comments, because there's a little bubble that you can make the comment on.
I can email you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's
Huh.
fine.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be great. Definitely overall things, we definitely want to make sure we're hearing those, and this will help me keep a track as well, because I can't pull out of this view and make a change right now. Unfortunately, I'd have to go back to design, and
That's fine.
you don't want to see that. It's like sausage making.
Yep.
But I'm definitely open to questions. We want this to be meaningful for you, so please, any and all thoughts on this, please email me or email Bart, and then he can email me. Employment status, so the regular demographics, but if there's anything in here that you feel is missing, please let us know. We did this, a very similar version, although I added a couple of things to this. We did this version with our regional housing needs survey. So we put a lot of thought into that, because it really helps us to understand, who we're talking to, or who's talking to us, I should say, when they fill out the survey. So, are they a resident, developer, landlord, realtor? Welcome to add to that too, if we think that there's other particular people that you'd want to hear about. But because this is housing and open space, we thought that those two were that last grouping was reflected who would probably be taking the survey. The third section, or rather the second, the housing piece of this is around the type of tenure. So are they renters or owners? Do they own without a mortgage, etc.? Live with roommates? Are they homeless? We do want to know that too, if people don't have permanent housing or experiencing homelessness. If it's single family, what type of house they're living in or unit they're living in, how long they've lived there. This was a really important one, especially for folks who, if they're renting and have lived in the community for a long time. we like to take note of that because a lot of folks, relate renters to being, a little unstable as residents, and we've actually seen the opposite in many communities. So it's nice to be able to make that link. Preference in housing today, like whether they'd like to, if they don't live in a single family home, what else would they like to, or if they live in a single home, maybe stay there. So also going to preference so that hopefully you can, if there are changes to zoning, to allow for other of these or more of these that you might not already do so, and that'll help to make that case for preference. Priority in assets when they're choosing a neighborhood to live in. Everything from safety, the school system, size of unit. We love this, a lot of feedback on this too, making sure we're highlighting the things that are important to folks in Newmarket. This is about income and their ability to pay their mortgage, rent, and related household expenses. And this is where we get to the burden. Types of housing in Newmarket that they would support, additional units developed for. And then this is a prioritization exercise, so they can actually bump these up and down based on what they think the housing related challenges are in Newmarket right now. And I believe, is that the second to last one, I think. The level of impact that the following has on their ability to stay in Newmarket. This is one that we think is especially important, not always cost pieces, but some of the others, these are something that the town, many of them have some control over, if you will, or ability to influence. Current housing needs of folks who are taking the survey. And this is a scan of what the hot topics are in the housing chapter from 2015, or where I should say are, where. And we want to get to the root of whether these are still relevant. And many of them, it feels like they are, but I think it's good to get a finger on the pulse from your residents and businesses and employees, employers, what the issues are. So hopefully we captured those appropriately. We also did, and we found in a couple of surveys that we've done so far that folks are they say unknown about accessory dwelling units, or what I've just heard is a new term, bonus dwelling units. That people are not certain what that is. So we linked to a definition on the web that we thought was appropriate. So with that, I'm going to turn it over Autumn for the open space piece.
Is it possible to have overarching conversation now?
Yeah, Angie, how about we pause for a second just for overarching conversation, and
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think
Yeah,
Sylvia has some thoughts.
Right, so I know we, were on together the age-friendly, committee, and just wondering, knowing that Newmarket has sort of delved into the whole age-friendly concept, I didn't see a lot. I think there was one question that was sort of an age-friendly thing, but so overarching, looking at the whole master plan, if the town is looking at sort of an age-friendly chapter, or if the whole thing might get some age-friendly components. I've seen both of those done. So that's one question. And the second one, for this chapter in particular, I thought that there was a lot of opportunity to look at age-friendly components. So for example, one of the things I didn't see was the style of housing. So for example, if someone, like, full disclosure, 63 3/4, not that I'm counting, and I know that eventually I'll probably be wanting a single floor or, one floor housing. You don't find that a lot in, whether it's Newmarket or anywhere in New England. I think you have to go to like Keene or something and you can find real estate for single floor. And so I'm thinking, do we want to talk about, you do talk about, Angie, like townhouse and things like that, but when you're looking at single family, there are a lot of options there. And so just sort of that, making sure, is there a first floor, main bedroom with bath, that kind of thing? Does it have, and now all my planning talk is going out the black holes in my mind, but just the various things. Is it accessible, whether you're in a wheelchair, if you're in a walker, you know, all these different things. Or you can have the other end of the spectrum. Is it accessible for a mom and, or, you know, or a dad who has kids and, you know, all those things, or just anyone who has a disability, knowing that in New Hampshire, we're also aging, just like anywhere. And the percentage of disabled folks can be anywhere from like 5 to 10%, depending on the community. It's quite startling. So just wondering about that age-friendly component.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be important to potentially modify a couple of these questions. It's hard to get into some of those without too much definition and explanation, so I'd be curious if there's something we could dive a little deeper on that when we do our workshop, for example, on this, so that we're around to actually have a conversation with folks about their house style, because I'm not sure,
I wonder if you can
it
ask
might make it really, really long if we start getting into like the types of, in every type of housing that's on there, because this is already a lot. This is like 8 different,
I wonder if you could ask a
it's
question
here.
saying,
So if there's a way that maybe we can say, I feel like my home is accessible to me.
Well, also
Or-
you know, we also know that there are, you know, the smaller homes, the cottage-style homes, that young people and older couples are fighting really to, you know, tooth and nail for the same type of smaller housing. We don't really talk about that either on this survey, and I just think for when you've got on your list there zoning amendments or zoning regulations, how do you know if people in Newmarket are going to want to create more dense communities or neighborhoods that smaller homes, single level living, you know, that kind of thing, or cottage style, where there is a bedroom and bath on the first floor. I just think that sort of thing is important to know for
Yeah,
future
I mean, this would
zoning.
be a good one for that, you know, if people, what type of housing would people prefer to live in? And we can add cottage style and, we have manufactured housing,
Yeah, but cottage style is different, so I think that would be a good
Yeah.
addition to that 17 on type
Yeah.
housing.
absolutely, yeah, we can do that. I was just thinking of others that might not be here. I thought we added most of them. We did not add cottage, so that's, well, actually, yes. Well, we called it backyard cottage, but we could do cottage style for sure.
Well,
Yep.
and I think everybody might have, even in this room, a different idea what that means. So I think
Yeah.
that you do get some trickiness there, but like shared amenities, I mean, you know, things like that. So just trying to,
I think maybe we can capture that during our community outreach, more so than the survey, like this particular survey, because just question, I'm just like Angie's saying, like how much you put in the survey, not to overburden them. So maybe like that's a follow up. It's like, you know, maybe leave it open ended, you know, if you ask the question, you know,
you could always
and have them
say-
write it in.
We did others.
Yeah, you could always
Yeah.
do a write-in option.
Right.
Well, I think
We
that,
do have write-in options right here. Most of these have an other,
yeah,
just
but
because we know we're not gonna think of everything, so I think I included other with
I don't think
most
you're
of
going to
the,
capture
um,
much in the other category. It's going to be these small little one-offs. And I would just think that accessory dwelling unit and backyard and cottage style, backyard cottage is an accessory dwelling unit versus cottage style on its own planned unit development might be a very
Yeah.
different thing. So
Yeah.
I would think that something of what Dover did with their cottage style living,
Yeah.
that's an emerging trend that I think will catch on. And I think there is huge interest in affordability, and so I do think that the cottage style, just get rid of backyard cottage because it is an ADU. It's just a detached ADU, and move cottage style to its own item.
Yeah, so I think these are great suggestions and comments. I think these are great for after this meeting, and then
Yeah.
emailing everything about emailing us, and then we can follow up on that, and then you know redraft the survey, send it out for more comments until we're ready to send it out.
And what's
Yeah.
the best way, is there a place to put comments on this thing, or there is?
So when you get the link, I can't open it that way because I'm logged in. But as a collaborator, which is what everybody is who has that link, there'll be a bubble. Well, it'll look just like this. So hopefully it'll open. Maybe it will open like that. Excellent day. So when the green is, it didn't do it. Never mind.
Oh, okay, so.
There's an
do that.
ability,
You should,
yeah.
once this is clicked, you should be, like, if you're clicking in here, if you open this up, it'll actually open up into a side box, just like Word does, as a comment, and then you can, make your comment.
Okay,
Great.
Mhm. And if it doesn't for some reason, I'm happy to either schedule a call with folks, or,
Yep.
if you wanna just, luckily, I love that SurveyMonkey's all numbered, all the questions, even into the open space chapter, so, or open space chapter section, I should say, so it's nice to be able to have that consistency.
So if we do that, we don't have to email it separately?
Right,
The
it
track
appears-
changes
yeah,
right on
exactly,
document,
yep,
but you
yep.
guys will see it. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you're talking about that green bubble window in the top right?
Yes.
Yeah, so see, someone already commented.
Okay, the link I have, that's dead, but,
Yeah, but we'll resend it out and then just brief instructions
yeah.
and a
Okay.
follow-up email.
Yes, that's what it'll look like once you provide a comment, so I can go through this and see where people commented.
Oh,
Oh, no one's commented yet, though. It looks like it was, but it didn't. So this is the demographics. So I'm happy to go through open space really quick, or I shouldn't say me, but if Autumn wants to go through open space really quick.
Yeah, we can briefly go through them. Scroll through.
You just stand there. Yeah, talk right there. Yeah, thank you.
Um, yeah, so again, keeping this kind of short in the survey here, just because we're kind of trying to shove in a little bit of housing, open space, and a little bit of riverfront design. Um, so yeah, asking folks if they're satisfied with the open space that exists here, talking about that connection between housing and open space, or sort of green space, and asking folks if that new housing should have eco-friendly designs. Um, Asking about the frequency of use of local parks and rec areas. So kind of speaking to the recreation chapter a little bit here. And then, yeah, you can see getting into the riverfront. And kept this vague just by calling it riverfront area, because that could mean downtown, that could mean Shannon Park, but, generally the vibrant area of town. um, and then asking how folks commute to the downtown, because of course there's parking there, but there's also sidewalks and maybe at some point in the future public transit again. Um, and then asking folks about the accessibility, and that obviously means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But checking that pulse in the survey to then dive deeper when we do more outreach and ask, what are the accessibility issues at these specific sites. And then I list this question 33, how do you envision the downtown riverfront contributing to the overall identity and character of the community? And you can see some things there like community pride, reflecting history, being a gathering space. And I think that's the end there, maybe a few more.
There's
Yeah.
quite a few.
Asking folks about how they would choose to put their resources towards housing versus open space and protecting natural resources or water resources specifically. And then asking about if people feel like the educational programs or different sort of water related, open space related programs in town are informing them effectively. And then asking folks about specifically regulation to protect water resources. And I'll note, the reason there's so much about water resources in here is because of the open space chapter being funded by the drinking water grant. So want to be able to show our funders that we're paying attention to that. Obviously drinking water is important. We can go ahead
And I do see, to Sylvia's point, some opportunities to pull back a little bit and ask about accessibility for all, instead of just walkers and bikers. So thanks for bringing that up as one of our themes, Sylvia. And then this last section is really to say thanks and collect master plan, or sorry, emails to get updates on the master plan. And the last couple times we've done this, more than half of the folks actually gave us their emails, which was great. And so we were able to give them feedback on when workshops were coming up, tell them when the website was updated. So we've used that as an opportunity if we were going to ever do a newsletter or actions via email to folks. So, any comments on the open space from folks?
I'll probably have some, but I'll do the tracking.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
We definitely want your
we'll
feedback.
probably talk more tonight, right? Yeah.
Right, and if anyone else, Sylvia?
Just a thought, also again, sort of overarching on both of these. It's a great opportunity to also like link to whether it's a Conservation Commission map or some educational aspect. You know, I just think a lot of people aren't aware of what even open space is and the difference between open space and like a park or, you know, and
Or
I
planning
just,
board, you know, open space, you know, subdivision, you know, it's just green space, yeah,
I just
sure.
think it's, if there's any, like, you talked about, Angie, the story maps, I love that idea, I think that's great. But anything that you might already have, like a website link that you already have and
Yeah.
you've updated, that you might just do it directly, want to learn more and just click here and that kind of thing. So I think there's an opportunity there.
Yeah,
Especially where we ask them if they already know, if they like what their level of knowledge is of some of those programs, and if there isn't a high level of knowledge, then to your point, Sylvia, might as well like educate them and make them more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Well,
I love it.
I was, I know we're going to talk about outreach in a second, and was at the New England Planners Conference yesterday, and had a great example of outreach for master plan and or for zoning, actually. I mean, how many people want to be on your edge of your seat talking about zoning?
all the time.
I know, you and I, Bart,
Yeah.
that's about it. But I mean, what they did was they went and they talked to different taverns in town, this community, and they did bingo nights and, not bingo, trivia nights, and they based it on,
That's neat.
like zoning.
Now you're talking.
And
I'm liking
so-
all of this.
I know, right?
Yes.
We would be
That
the
needs a
only
lot of
people-
alcohol.
But it was they said it was a great event, and, you know, a lot of people went and learned about zoning, and it was trivia night. And we know Riverworks already does trivia.
Yeah.
So I just thought, you know, wow, that's an easy fit for this master plan process. And we have so many great restaurants, I bet they would all be interested.
I think you get a lot of people come out for that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, and it
Yeah.
could be,
I
it
think
could
you would.
be any
Yeah.
given.
Coach,
You don't think so?
It's
Eric's
It'd
doubtful.
just be us.
He's
6
dubious.
people there.
Yeah. I
But
don't
at
know, it
least
might be
we'd
a good
drinking a
community.
beer then.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, no, I
There you
agree
go.
with that.
Yeah. That's great.
That's awesome.
No, those are fabulous. That's a fabulous idea. And then, you know, so definitely something thinking about, and, you know, who knows what ideas will spring from that either, too, so.
To that point, Sylvia, like, Angie and I, our goal with this project, and thank you for, like, for letting us be so innovative, is to, like, do those fun, interesting things that you don't typically see, and, like, have lax engagement.
Oh, sorry, can you just speak up? Yeah, yeah.
Have more passive engagement too, taking advantage of, opportunities, including dinners.
Agreed.
Yeah, love those ideas and views.
Keep them coming. Yeah, so Sylvia, to your point, and thanks for the tee up, any ideas, whether now, recognizing we're still only about 10 minutes away, but I think we have some good time, innovative outreach techniques to get the word out, to get as many folks to fill in this, complete the survey as possible. So we came up with a couple of ways with Bart, but we're always willing to take on more. And again, they don't have to be tonight, but if you think of things over the next couple of weeks of places that both we can send them, as well as you as our ambassadors for this project, and making sure that you're also willing to help us pound the pavement or pound the keys.
I wonder if you could just review what you've thought of so far, and then we can add to it.
Yeah,
So in one community, we successfully created a postcard for the survey, and we handed that out in a lot of businesses. There was a QR code on it, so it was easy if folks didn't want to pick it up and move it because they're moving out of the way of the coffee. They could just their phone's already open if they're paying, and they can just click it. Or if it's a poster hanging up in a window, same thing. They can just click it as they're walking by, and that worked out really well. I feel like we got a lot of really good feedback that way. We also had a targeted list for one community for businesses. I didn't mention this, I don't think, in our meeting. Apologies, Bart, or maybe I did, but and to send it specifically that way, because a lot of businesses, email is definitely not always top of mind for them, especially if they're out baristing and serving. But they don't always get emails, or at least emails for this type of purpose. And we got a lot of uptick from a direct email to folks about a survey, especially if they're short and sweet, and we can tailor the language to let them know that this is about them, and we really do need their feedback because we care, and they're valued. The Housing Authority, we talked about that too, Bart. I don't know if you'd had a chance to get in
I
touch
haven't
with
reached
her.
out yet, but
And then working with, and I just forgot her name, Lisa Henderson.
yes, Lisa Henderson.
And then the traditional ways, social media. Now that school's back, if those postcards would be amazing to be able to send in backpacks back with kids, and if this is a slow time for news, having a kindergartner and seeing the slowdown of the amount of stuff that's coming back, it's not overwhelming. So the postcard would need to be a little bit bigger to fit into a folder, but I think that would be a great way. A lot of schools are also using this tool called Dojo. If you have any kids in school, it's a really cool tool, and it's a social media app basically, but they allow you to put news in there, and so I've been using that successfully in my town, but I didn't know if they use Dojo in Newmarket. So another good way. I'm trying to think of any others. The website, obviously. Yeah, that was about it. That's as far as we got because we had a really busy meeting the last time, so we figured we'd also bring it to you all for some unique ways to get the word out.
What's the timeline again for when the survey will go out and then when it has to be back?
We're
Done?
thinking December. I think we're when the survey to go out.
And you want it back by the end of December?
Yeah, so probably early January.
So a month, people are
Yeah,
busy, it's
a month. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you lose, depending on when you can get it out, pretty much after the second and a half week, it's done.
Yeah.
And nothing's happened till like the middle of the first week in January. But we just assume there's like 2.5 weeks, that's just nothing. It's a nothing space.
Yeah.
But, so some ideas, so the postcard, we've done the same thing. So just for full disclosure, I work with the Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission, almost the same initials as Stratford, so, but we're in the Manchester region and also used to be the town planner in Exeter. But anyway, so that's where, a little bit of background. But, so we've done similar with postcards, very successful. We've gone not only to local businesses, here we've got, so much happening right in downtown. A couple of volunteers, I'd be happy to volunteer for this too. You just hang out outside of any one of the stores. It could be, anything. The restaurants, the stores, the library. Just hang out, you talk to people, you throw them the card. I know there used to be the market up by Stone Church.
Farmers market.
Thank you, bingo. Farmers market, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
No, we haven't been doing that. Yeah.
I don't know that they've been doing that in a while, which is sad, but, you do have the Stone Church. And so you get different demographics. You get maybe younger people up at the Stone Church, whereas, who knows? There's just so many different places, which I think is really good. And at the same time, engaging the schools, I think you're spot on there. But for like the town of Bedford, we had, believe it or not, because of one marriage, we had a lot of outreach, but we had a woman that started claiming that we were from the UN and that we, that we took direct,
I'm so tired, I'm sorry.
that we took direct
Shame on you bringing that up, Sylvia.
But because of her and her social media, like,
Yeah.
it was really crazy. We had over 800 participants in that survey, and people, it just brought it was like all advertisement, no matter good or bad, was good because it got people responding. But the QR code, that was perfect. I
Yeah.
think anything dovetailing, so for the month of December, dovetailing with any event. I know, we have funky craft fair, so there's that.
Yeah. So yeah, we would definitely leverage our community events.
Yeah.
Mike, does the business association
Yeah, the Newmarket Business Association, that would probably be the best avenue, because once it comes up on your email, it's quick to, I can click that link.
Yeah.
And do that. So that, and of course, the social media is huge in town. There are a couple that are pretty good there. And then the town's newsletter, Friday
Right.
newsletter that goes out.
Right.
And I think those all hit a kind of a broad spectrum. Obviously, NBA is more business centric, but
Right.
if you're trying to collect information from all factors, so
I think they'd be very interested in this survey.
I think so. I think oftentimes
Yeah.
businesses feel kind of left out in the
Yeah.
decision-making
Right.
process. They don't get a vote,
Right.
so.
Right.
Great. Yeah, and just send us those ideas too. And I know we're capturing it right now, but if you got any other ideas, please
Well,
email.
Parks and Rec has I bet you they have the holiday, house decorating party. Just as a side note, we did win the Halloween decorating house party, 40 Elm Street,
But the,
But anyway, they have the holiday house decorating, and so that's a great partner because you have open space, which has a little bit of a relationship to Parks and Rec. So I think they could include on their social media site, because I think people are in tune with that a lot. You have a younger generation there, maybe, that might be in tune.
Yep, we work with the library as well, so
Yeah.
make sure they're involved in this. So they'll be a huge resource, I think. Helping us out, get the word out at least. Maybe we can make bookmarks. So.
Bookmarks,
Ellen.
yes,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
QR code
Ellen,
thing
that's
is
Ellen's
huge.
idea.
Yeah.
I bogarted
That's
that.
a great one.
Yeah.
I love that. Super.
So yeah, so
Every
doing
book that goes out.
right, get a
Yeah.
QR code.
Nice.
That's all you want. I gave you credit.
there is one thing that's costly to do, and you can postcard everybody in town through the tax.
Oh,
The
that's
tax
expensive.
collector has a email list, and you can, it ends up being a couple $1,000s, but you can send a postcard, or there are other mailings that are required. They don't want to put anything in a tax bill because things get thrown out.
Or the dog licensing.
Yeah, they won't, but
Yeah.
if there's some other mailing the town's doing, sometimes
Yeah.
a Public Works mailing or something else,
Yeah.
maybe the QR code would be.
Yeah, we can talk to town clerk about that. See what they.
Or you can just have a stack at the town clerk's
too, yeah.
office.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think
don't
we
know-
should. I mean,
Yeah.
have stacks everywhere. That's why,
Yeah.
like, the businesses, get the businesses downtown to agree to put stacks on their counters
Yeah,
and
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just
you
don't
know.
think you want to be associated with a bill.
They
Sure.
won't put anything in
Yeah.
with the bill. They
Yeah.
refused because too many bills got thrown out
Yeah.
one time when they did it, so
Yeah.
nothing goes in with any bill.
That makes
I
sense.
think it makes it at the counter. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
Showcasing it there.
yeah.
Cool. These are fabulous ideas, everyone. That's why we brought you all together. Loving it.
Between all of us,
You
we
did
might
good,
have a good
Kieran.
idea.
I think we might, yeah. Yeah, great. All right, I know we're pressing on time, so any other ideas, please email me, Angie, and Autumn, and we will make sure it gets incorporated.
Great. All right, well, a couple more things. We wanted to talk about regular subcommittee meetings, but I know we're running a little short on time, so one thought would be if what we've done with other groups is create a form in Google, just an open source, you don't have to have a Gmail account to be able to schedule those subcommittee meetings. So it gives you nights, well, they're probably mostly going to be nights, but it gives you a couple options, Monday through Friday and the time chunks. And maybe we'll start doing first week, second week, third week, because we recognize you all have regular board meetings as well. So if that's okay to do it that way instead of us all looking at our calendars, unless everybody came with their like ideal night that they'd like to meet. And then I'm happy to do that too.
I think doing what you said is fine.
Yeah.
Set it up that way and see when people can meet.
Okay, great.
fluid.
And maybe then what we could do is set
Right.
up the branding the same way.
It doesn't mean we can't
There's,
pivot
I think,
either,
Right.
so,
some
yeah.
really ways to do that, but I'm happy to. I don't know if I don't personally have them right now unless they're on Canva.
Yeah, they're on Canva, yeah, so we can pause that for the next meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. I'm really excited to share those with y'all, and we'll send those out in advance too with some guidance so that we can prepare everybody. But so last but not least is our calls to action here. So we are looking for comments on the survey by the 16th. So that's next Thursday, I believe.
Yes.
So hopefully that a full week is good. If you need a little more time, please let us know. Yeah, exactly a week from today. So yeah, just let us know. So COB that day. And then start thinking about your teams. We are going to launch, as I mentioned, or we'll probably have about 4 teams. Try to split the master plan chapters equally amongst each team. But really, when we say team, is like what you'd like to, what chapters you would like to serve on behalf of. So if you wanted to serve on energy and housing, then we put you on this first team because it's going to go. We're definitely going to do housing and open space. So start thinking about the types of chapters you would like to be on a team for. And then lastly,
Excuse me, can I ask a question? What's the composition of each team?
we don't know yet. That's
Yeah.
why we're
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
You don't know how many members or how many team
So right
members?
now we have 7 members, so
Yeah.
the idea was this would be the core group, and then we can bring other people in
Okay.
into that. So we would have core subcommittee group, and then as
Whatever
we go
you
through
can
each
get
chapter,
additions.
yeah, we can bring other people in.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
that's our idea
Yeah,
right now. Yeah.
That's okay. I would just say, if you have a special interest in a certain chapter,
Yep.
just send it.
Yeah.
Well, we can do that at the next meeting. So it's just start thinking about those as I'm assuming you're going to send this out to everyone so everyone can see the
Yes.
chapters that we're going to be doing. So just thinking about what your interests are and how you want to contribute on one of those teams. So we don't know the teams yet. I think it's going to be based on the interest so that we
Yeah.
don't overwhelm everybody and have you be on like 5 teams.
Yeah, we want to
Or
keep you
all-
here,
all
so.
4. On 5 teams,
Yeah.
because there's a 5th one that's out there somewhere. And then we'll send out the subcommittee calendar invite once we get comments back from you on what the good dates are. So I'll send a form to Bart to send to you all, hopefully to get by Monday, but I might be able to get it done tonight. If not, you'll get it on Monday for sure.
I have a quick
With
question.
that,
Yep.
both.
Quick question, Angie, can you pause for a
accessible-
Sorry, Sylvie had a question.
So,
Yeah.
just curious, so many master plans look so different. I don't know what this group, if you've already talked about what your end master plan is going to look at. I mean, I've seen ones that are over 300 pages, and I've seen ones that are like 15 pages. Those are more rare, and in between. And so I know when we are working on master plans these days, we like them to be under 100 pages, like maybe 4 pages per chapter, and then an appendix that has, maybe extra data, but very easy to go through, not a lot of words, very visual, graphics, demographics, maps, of course, but I don't know what you all have in mind.
Yeah, any opinions, Mike, any opinions?
Oh, I think a 300-page master plan is a waste of time.
Absolutely, nobody's gonna read it.
Right,
You
I
don't
mean,
know
I
what's
agree
in
with
it.
you, concise is the best, and more pictures, more stuff like that is better than a lot of words.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do it, a contractor did it, but for the town of Auburn has, if you have time to take a look at that, it's pretty concise. I think it's just around 100 pages. If not, that's what I thought it was anyway. And that's what we're working with the town of Chester, and we're aiming for something where it's just really easy. And one chapter that I thought was interesting was sort of regional concerns. And I don't know if that's part of.
We do have that on the slate. And I think with the discussion, Val Shelton, she couldn't make it tonight, but I had a conversation with her. And she remembers the planning board, having discussion on what chapters they think they should have, and what can be consolidated, what can be subtracted. So I think at the
Right.
next meeting, we may want to have that discussion on, all right, what chapters we want to focus on, what can be combined together, or, subtracted as well, deleted. So maybe put that, you're dog-eared that one for the next meeting. But my personal opinion, we want this document to be used, and we want to be accessible to everyone.
Right.
So I think more of that approach, the better, than a 300-page document.
It'd be also great, Angie, I liked how you started off with, sort of a callback to the last master plan, and are these still the same things? I think that is really, really good to acknowledge, because somebody sat in these chairs 10 years ago or whenever it was done with well-meaninged and worked hard to make that happen. When Diane was here, and I don't know what's been accomplished. When I come to Newmarket, I take my planner and engineer hat off, and I'm just me, causing trouble. So, I mean, now you've got me. Thank you so much for acknowledging that. But anyway, I think we want to look at the last master plan and say, well, were the recommendations completed, and what of those recommendations are still valid, or have things changed so much, and people's interests changed so much?
That's a great segue, because that's what we're going to do tonight at Open Space. That's Conservation Commission, which Ellen's going to leave us for right now. So, thank you. I think we're going to leave it at that.
Thanks, Angie.
Angie, thank you so much. Sorry, we just running out of time here.
Working with you all.
Yeah.
And you'll hear from us either, like I said, well, it won't be tomorrow at this point because Bart's not working for us.
Yeah.
So you'll hear from us on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks again, Angie. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank
Yeah.
you, take care.
Bye.
Stay.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, everyone. Well, still on there, so.